Hello, friends. I'm back from my Hawaiian vacation. It was absolutely wonderful. I enjoyed it so much. I tell you, the people, the colors, the greenery, the flowers, it was just beautiful. Almost like a little tiny piece of heaven. This has been on my bucket list for a long time, and I wanted to go and experience it. I had a brother who passed about 12 years ago, and he had made many trips to Hawaii. And so he and I would sit and look at the videos of those trips. And I remember him telling me one day, I want to retire to Hawaii. But I had never been. So I promised myself at that time, one day I was going to Hawaii. And I did. It was everything my brother said and more. It was beautiful. Beautiful. I tell you, the food, the fresh vegetables, the fresh fruit, the pineapples, the coconuts. Oh man, they were luscious. It was just a wonderful trip and I enjoyed it. But now I don't have any pictures to share with you all like I promised, and I apologize for that. Because let me tell you what happened. On my way to Hawaii, we had to transfer from one plane to another. The first plane that I got on coming out, I took my phone out, my cell phone, to put it on airplane mode. And then I put it in that little compartment that's in front of me, that little netted compartment that fits on the back of the seat in front of me. I put my phone in there. Well, when it was time to change planes, guess what? I left my phone. I did not realize I had left my phone until I transferred to the second plane that was actually going to take us into Honolulu. I looked in my purse to put it on airplane mode. And there it was, gone. Not in my purse, nowhere to be found. You talking about fear and panic. I almost wanted to get off that plane and go look for it. The only reason I didn't get off the plane is that the pilot said the doors were shut and he could not open them again. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I sat next to a nice young lady and she saw how upset I was and she wanted to help me. And so she said, before we take off into the air, is there any call I can make for you on my phone? And I said, oh, thank you so much. Yes, you can. You can call my son or my daughter. And so she said, well, what is the number? I couldn't think of it. I didn't know. Because I depend on my phone for all of these numbers. And so I couldn't even remember my daughter's number, my son's number, my family, my niece, because I depend on my phone. It's all in my phone. You know how that is. We don't remember numbers like we used to in the olden days. So I'm like, oh, this is terrible. What am I going to do? I don't have a phone. It felt like a half of me had just disappeared. I was so upset. So I said to her, how far are we from Honolulu? And she said about 7 hours. And I'm like, oh, Lord. And so all I could do was just sit there. And so when we got to the airport, there I was with no communication, no phone. I met these two ladies that were members of the travel club, and they were so nice. One of them said, you could use my phone. Who do you want to call? Well, I didn't have the numbers, but you know what I did have on? I had my Apple Watch on. And I looked at that Apple Watch and I had one number listed on there where I had talked to my son, and it showed his full number. So she called him for me and he answered the phone. I was so glad because he didn't recognize her number. See, that's another thing about answering numbers you don't know. Sometimes you have to, because it may be an emergency. So he answered a number he did not know. And there I was, his mother. Oh, I left my phone on the plane. Can you get in touch with my daughter, your sister, and can you get in touch with my niece? Because she works for the airlines. I want to find my phone. I know where I left it on that first flight in that compartment. And so I have no way of contacting them. And so he said, sure, Mom, don't worry. I want you to enjoy your vacation. No worries. Can I call this number back? And the lady said, yes. So they called me back that evening and they said, my granddaughter put a track on that phone. And the tracker showed it was in Las Vegas. That's where that first plane stopped, in Las Vegas for the transfer. And so they had found it because they do a clean sweep of the plane in between flights. So they had found it. Now my niece, who works for that particular airline, she called and she took care of everything for me. She had them, they found my phone, it was intact. She had them to FedEx it to her house. So when I got back into Atlanta, Sunday night, they had my phone. That was so wonderful. I was so upset. I hadn't had that phone a whole year. But I was so upset because I wanted to take all of these pictures and I wanted to show you guys. But my daughter said something to me that resonated and made a lot of sense. She said, Mom, you have snapshots in your mind. You actually saw this. No, you didn't have a camera to bring back and show us the pictures, but you saw it. It's a snapshot in your mind, and you'll never forget it. She was so right. I have a snapshot. I waited 25 years to go to Hawaii, and I left my phone on the plane, and I was so upset. But when I began to think about it, this is not going to steal my joy. I'm going to enjoy myself, and I'm going to make memories and snapshots in my mind so I can share with my family and friends when I get back. I just hate I don't have those videos. I had planned to take so many videos, and my daughter even said, Mom, this is going to make you be more in the moment. Instead of snapping so many pictures and worrying about, you're going to be in the moment. And guess what, friends? I was certainly in the moment. So I have a snapshot of how beautiful Hawaii is. The people are beautiful over there. They're very friendly. The food is fresh. I ate all the fish I could eat because I love fish. And that fish is so fresh. It's like they just pull it right up out of the ocean and cook it. It is delicious. So I wanted to share that with you all because I promised I was going to bring back videos and pictures. But what I did bring back was a piece of Hawaii. And I want to share that with you. This is what I brought back. I love hummingbirds. And so while I was there, I had a tattoo of a hummingbird put on. This guy that did this hummingbird was actually out of California. And you talking about an artist. This guy was really an artist. And so while we were off the ship on land, I saw his shop. And I went in and talked to him. And I told him what I wanted. I wanted to take a piece of Hawaii back with me because I didn't have any pictures or any videos. So he said, well, what would you like to take? I said, I love hummingbirds. Can you put a hummingbird on the inner part of my arm? And every time I look at that hummingbird, I'm going to remember Hawaii. And so he did this. Isn't that beautiful? Let's look at that. He did a wonderful job. A wonderful job. So I have a piece of Hawaii right here with me. And I have the snapshots in my head because I waited so long to go. It was on my bucket list and it was wonderful. It's like a little tiny piece of heaven. I enjoyed it. And you know, friends, into that second day of that vacation, I said to myself, I'm going to forget about that phone. I'm going to savor every moment. I'm going to snapshot every moment. I'm going to make friends while I'm here. And I'm going to have the time of my life. And guess what, friends? This is exactly what I did. And it was beautiful. Beautiful. The people were friendly on the ship. It was gorgeous. I have no complaints. I traveled with a senior group of 70 people. Some of them I knew, some of them I didn't. They were all friendly. We watched out for each other. They were great. They were great. On the cruise, I went on an excursion. I've never been to a luau, never. So there was an excursion offered on the luau, and I can't remember if it was in Maui or one of those other islands, because we toured about 4 islands, and we would get off the ship and go into the city. Well, they had a luau, and I signed up for it. Let me tell you, it was beautiful. They had a pig in the ground, and I think they said it takes like maybe 12 hours of that pig being in the ground. And so they served that. Ooh, it was delicious. That meat was succulent. They served that pig. They served all kinds of vegetables and fresh fruits and fish from there. It was delicious. And then they had a show. They had a big stage where we could see them. And those girls got up and did the hula, or whatever you call it. I don't know exactly what you call it. They were fantastic. And then the guys got up and they did it too. And then they had a skit about how these islands all came together. It was really beautiful. They did a skit, and it was a musical skit. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. So I enjoyed the luau. And then one day I went on this trip on another island. It was called Hop On, Hop Off. What that meant was you get on this little bus, and then if you want to get off and go to a venue or go to the flea market or whatever, you get off. Because what the bus did was it just looped back around and picked you back up. So it was called Hop On, Hop Off. That was wonderful. I got to see so much of Hawaii on that hop on and hop off. So it was wonderful. I have no complaints. I'm so thankful that I got to see it, that I got to experience this, and it was wonderful. So I apologize for not having any pictures because they're all up here. They all up here. And the love is in my heart. And I'm going to show you my shirt. See my shirt? These are the shirts that the travel club gave us. See there? Aloha. So when we got there, we got these shirts, and we took pictures of these shirts. I love it because I love color. And when I saw the color of these, I'm like, oh my God, these are beautiful. They're just beautiful. Excuse me while I adjust this camera back. Because you know, I'm still a little new. Well, I'm a lot new, really. So I just wanted to share that with you. I don't know how many of you all have been to Hawaii or the Hawaiian Islands. But if you want to go and you've never been, I encourage you if you can. Because that is a beautiful, beautiful island. Honolulu, and it's just beautiful. And you know what? My brother's name was Milton. And my brother been gone he passed about 12 years ago. And like I said, I used to sit up and watch videos with him, and he actually wanted to retire there. When I stepped my foot on the ground, I said, Milton, I finally made it. My brother and I were very close. And I get a little emotional even now when I think about him and how I miss him in my life, because we were only 18 months apart. So this was also emotional for me because we shared this. And I said, Milton, it may be 25 years, but I finally got here. And it's everything you said. So I've had a good time. I don't have any complaints. I'm probably getting a little emotional with you all because I am an emotional person. Doesn't take much to tear me up because I can be emotional, especially when I think about the people that I love. And I know surely you all understand that. I know you understand that. But, and I bought a flower. You know, as I've gotten older, I've lost a lot of hair. So I wanted to put this flower up there, you know, to talk to you guys. I had a hard time finding a patch of hair to attach it to. I'm like, where am I going to put where am I going to put this flower? Where am I going to put it? So I finally found a couple of strands to attach this flower to. So what you think about it, friend? Oh, it's just, this is crossed off my bucket list. I had several items that I wanted to cross off, and I had a neighbor that tell me years ago, and she died at the age of about 94. When I first moved here, she was already in this subdivision, and she said, Mary, I've traveled, I've done so many things. She said, the things you want to do, go and do them while you can. Don't put stuff off. You don't know what the future may hold. Do it while you have the health and the strength, and you can do it. So I remember, her name was Velda. I remember Velda telling me she was an older, very wise woman, and she would come over and sit on the porch with me. But I remember her saying to me, just do it. Don't put it off. She said, when my time comes, I've done everything I wanted to do. I have no regrets. And the things you want to do, Mary, do them while you have the chance, the opportunity, the health, and the strength to do it. And so that's what I'm doing. And life is wonderful, friends. It is wonderful. I love you guys. I love coming in, talking to you, sharing part of my life with you, letting you get to know who I really am, letting you see me. I don't talk from script. I don't edit. I don't do any of that, because I just want you to see who I am, my personality, and I'm genuine. I am. What you see is what you get. So we flew back Sunday. Now there's like a 6-hour gap in time between Eastern Standard Time and Hawaiian time. Boy, did I feel it. Like it was 6 o'clock over there, it was 12 o'clock here. And so it took me a couple of days to get adjusted. But when I flew back, it took me a couple of days to get adjusted too. And you know what? I came back. I had a safe trip. I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful for that. The plane was good. There was very little turbulence going and coming. Just a little shaking, no throwing all around. No whole lot of turbulence going on. And people on the plane were friendly. No incidents on the plane whatsoever. But I will tell you this: I'm glad I'm back now, since we in a country shutdown. I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad I'm back home. I'm glad I don't have to fly right now. Not saying anything's gonna happen now. I'm just glad I'm back home. And friends, it's always good going. I was so excited when I was going, so very excited. But it's always good coming home. I was so excited. I thought, I want to stay another week. And then I thought, no, I want to go home, to my bed, to my Charlie and my little dog. I wanted to, my dog, I had an excellent person to keep him. She was a tech veterinarian, assistant veterinarian. She's keeping animals now. She told me that Charlie would not eat. And she also told me that Charlie had to be hand-fed by her daughter. She said that, Charlie suffers with extreme anxiety. And I'm like, really? She said, yes. She said, when he's away from you, he suffers with extreme anxiety. And he wouldn't eat. Now, he would drink, but he missed you so much. And I told her, Charlie is a rescue dog. I don't know what his past was when I got him in 2020. I don't know what had gone on with him. But he's become so attached to me, and I've become so attached to him that I hate to leave him, but I can't stand here and hold his paw every day. I got to go somewhere and have a life. So I asked her, what did she recommend? She said, take him to the vet and tell the vet about this extreme anxiety, because it's not good for him. It stresses him, because he's actually an older dog. So we don't want him stressed, Miss Mary. We don't want to stress him, especially for a week. So I plan to take him to his vet and see if there's anything they can give him to calm that anxiety. And so the times away from me, he won't be so stressed, because I don't want stress in animals, stress in people. it can cause a lot of problems. But that was the first time I had a sitter to tell me that Charlie was stressed like that. And when I picked him up, he was just shaking like that, shaking like that. Not because she mistreated him, but because he missed me. He calmed down after I got him home. But I noticed Charlie is a small dog. I noticed Charlie had looked like he lost about a pound while I was away. And this is what Charlie did. When I came in and brought him home, for the first 2 days, he was right under my feet. He watched me like a hawk. I almost stepped on him because he was right there. It was like, you ain't going nowhere else. I'm right here. I'm watching you. He's just, let's see, today is Wednesday. So he's just not calming down. Like now he's in another room. But for those first 2 days I was home, he wouldn't even go in another room. He would sit and watch me like a hawk. And I'm going to tell you another thing about Charlie. When I got ready to start packing for that trip, he knows that when I bring those suitcases out, I'm leaving him somewhere. It started when I brought my suitcases out. But it got worse when I actually took him to the sitter. And like I said, she didn't mistreat him. He just is so attached to me, and I am to him, that he suffers with this extreme anxiety. And so now I'm watching him. He's drinking. He's eating more because he was almost starved. She told me that her daughter had to hand feed him. That's the only way they could get him to eat. Now, see, that makes me not want to go on any more trips. That makes me makes me feel like I don't want to leave him. But I can't do that. I told him when I got back, I can't hold your paws every day. Mama got travels. Mama got places she want to go. Places that you can't go, sweetheart. So we're going to have to do something about this problem. Because I can't stay home every day. I got things to do, places to go. Hey, life is good. Because next year I'm going to Barcelona. I can't take Charlie to Barcelona. And I got other places I plan on going that he cannot go. Now, he can go to the dog park. He can ride in it. Oh, see, he heard me call his name. And so now he just came in here to see, to make sure that I'm still here and I'm not planning. Because I put this shirt on. He looked at this shirt like, oh, no, it's over with. You ain't going back. But anyway, I just wanted to take this time to share with you, to tell you about my trip. It was almost like a little piece of heaven, like I said. Calm, joyful, beautiful, awesome sunsets, wonderful. It was just, the ocean was pretty much calm. And the ship, I felt a little, you're going to have that because that ship is moving. But it was wonderful. Years ago, I used to suffer with motion sickness. And so I didn't want to take anything. I didn't want to put that little thing back here that some people do. I didn't want that thing back here because when I first started cruising, I used to use that. My doctor recommended that. But I noticed after about two or three cruises, it would stop me from having motion sickness, but I couldn't taste anything. So I missed all the different cuisines and the flavors, and I didn't want to do that. So a couple of years ago, I decided I'm just not going to use that thing. I'm just going to focus on the trip and have a good time. So that's what I did this time. I just focused on the trip. There was no nausea. There was no, none of that. Because I said in my mind and in my heart, I'm just going to focus on the trip. And even if the ship gets a little rocky, that's not going to affect me. None of that. And it didn't either. Of course, like I said, the ship didn't get that rocky. But this shirt, this is my souvenir. And this is my souvenir. I bought a little piece of Hawaii home with me. And I'm going to name it. I don't know what I'm going to name. What name I'm going to give him. My little piece of heaven from Hawaii. I tried to get my girlfriend who was on the cruise to get her one, but she didn't want one. I said, well, I'm going to get one. But let me tell you about this tattoo. I asked the artist if it was going to hurt. He began to tell me about the places on your body where it could really cause some pain, such as in here, around your ankles, in here, Places like that are very sensitive and the skin is somewhat thin. So I said, okay, no problem. And so when he started, you know, they scrub it down real good and then they lay the design on there. He did all that. None of that hurt. But let me tell you, when he started with that needle outlining that hummingbird that you see on my arm, I thought I was going to jump out of that chair. That thing hurt so bad. I had already asked him, I said, do you have any Novocaine? He said, Miss Mary, I don't have no Novocaine. I said, well, is it going to hurt real bad? He said, no, most people, they don't find it painful, especially where I'm putting yours. And so I said, okay, let's get started. And so when he started outlining this hummingbird with that little needle, man, I thought I was going to jump out of that chair. I almost told him to stop in midstream. But I thought, no, this is something that I want. And just like in life, if it's something you want, sometimes it comes with pain, doesn't it? It doesn't always come without pain if it's something you really want. So I said that to myself as I sit in that chair. And I didn't stop him. When he started putting the color in, because I wanted color. When he started putting the color in, oh, let me tell you, I thought I was going to scream. And so, but he was such a good artist. He kept talking to me because he knew I was anxious. He kept talking to me about Hawaii. He kept talking to me about California, how long he had been doing this. What I asked him, I said, what motivated you to become a tattoo artist? He started out being an artist. He said most of them start out in the artistry business, being artists. And he did a great job. But when he started with that color that I wanted, I was gripping with this hand, the side of that chair. I was hoping he didn't see me gripping it. He probably did, though. And so he said, I've got about 3 more minutes and I'll be through. I'm like, oh, whew, I don't know if I'm ever going through this again. But when he finished and he showed me, it was well worth it because I brought a little piece back with me. And every time I look at this, I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember my trip. My snapshots in my mind are going to come full term where I can see them. And I'm going to remember my brother who wanted to live there. I'm going to remember that. So it's still here whether I have videos, pictures or not, because I don't have them. But it's in here, it's in here, and it's in here. Listen, I love you guys so much. I just wanted to share that with you. I've been away and I haven't been, adding any videos to my channel or anything. When I got back, I really wanted to do it the first day, Monday, after I got back. Ooh, it took me a while to adjust to that 6 hours, like I said, so I've been a little tired. So I was sitting here, and earlier I was talking to my niece, and she said, I noticed you haven't put out any more videos. I said, no, but I'm going to put out one today. I said, because I've got to tell my friends who I promised that I was going to bring videos and pictures back, I don't have them, and I'm going to explain. But I'm going to tell them how beautiful it was, how much I enjoyed it, how it was a dream come true. Life is good. Life is what we make it. When, there's this old saying, when you get lemons, make lemonade. Well, when I lost my phone, I had a whole ton of lemons. But I decided to make lemonade. And guess what? It was wonderful. It was wonderful. So we have to make life what we have. We can't be thrown back by certain things when you know what you want, when you know what your goal is, when you know what you come for. I came to enjoy myself, to fulfill a dream that I had ever since my brother and I sat and watched his Hawaiian videos. So when my feet hit that Honolulu land, and I said to my brother, Milton, I made it. It's all good. I miss you, but I'm looking now through my eyes at what you saw. So, like I say, I'm emotional now. Especially when I start talking about my brother. We were so close. We were like two pigs in the pot. And he passed about 12 years ago. I miss him. I miss talking to him. I miss picking the phone up. But it's all right. It's all right. So Milton, I made it. Thank you guys. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.